to the biohazard container. Stop the hostage from securing the container. One op 4 remaining.
What is up, guys and girls? It's your boy Geckerman here, back today with another Rainbow Six Siege video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to play as every basic operator currently in the game. This includes Spetsnaz, FBI SWAT, SAS, GIGN, and the GSG-9. So without further ado, let's get into it. Sledge is one of those characters that isn't vital to a team, but if someone chooses him, he's still a great asset to it. Sledge is granted the power to use a sledgehammer to breach unreinforced walls and ceilings. Seeing as Sledge is a 2-speed and 2-armor operator, what I would recommend is having Sledge follow a breacher, maybe Ashe, Thermite or Hibana, and he'll be able to keep up. This is in case there's a wall they need to break down and it isn't reinforced. So it will save the Thermite an extra blast, saving resources and everyone's time. I like to play Sledge with his L8-5A2. I like it due to its high fire rate, while at the same time doing enough damage to take down your enemies in 3 to 4 shots, given the right chance. I also have him equipped with grenades rather than flashbangs, as a lot of useful characters such as Hibana and Ashe already use them, saving again more time and resources. Hands down, one of the best useful characters in the game, Thatcher can neutralise enemy electronics with ease and is well known to be the arch enemy of both Bandit and Mute. All it takes is one EMP and a whole defence system could be taken down within seconds. I would recommend Thatcher following Thermite or Hibana, as both can take down reinforced walls, and if the enemy team have a Bandit or any other kind of gadget trap on the walls, that could potentially be one less entrance in. My personal recommendation would be for you to have Thatcher's assault rifle, being the AR-33, which, with an ACOG sight, can be a nasty piece of work in the right hands. I would also bring along breach charges, just in case you run out of EMPs, and you need to get in the building alive. Smoke can be a valuable asset to a team, if known how to be used properly. I see it all the time when smoke abilities are used for granted and wasted at the expense of bad throwing. Smoke's ability is that he can detonate remote gas grenades which will damage anyone caught in it, even your teammates. Smoke is able to enter that smoke without being harmed, which gets him the upper hand on the enemy, especially if he's equipped with a shotgun at close range. What I like to do, and a lot of my mates like to do, is to leave a smoke trap on an entrance where you know someone is going to come in from. I leave 2 of my smokes with me, so if I encounter anyone, I'm able to throw one near a target and sneak up on them. Mute is easily one of the best characters in the game, if you know how to use him correctly. Mute's ability is for him to put jammers down. This will block the drones and the other team from seeing you and your teammates, as well as preventing charges and enemy equipment from blowing up the objective room. I would suggest staying in the room as Mute, seeing as he has both speed and armor on his side, with 2 points going into each attribute. My guns of choice would definitely be the MP5K submachine gun, as it has a lot more range, obviously, than the shotgun. I would also bring a nitro cell along with me, in case I end up without any ammo or stuck in a sticky situation later on in the game. Blitz is one of those operators who you don't see picked that often. In my opinion, I would say that it was due to the fact that even though his ability is amazing, which is a riot shield equipped with 5 flashbang shots, people aren't taking the risk of having his body vulnerable to being shot at. Sure, his shield protects most of his body, but his shoulders and head can be left showing. It is also very easy for someone to go simply behind him and shoot him straight up. Blitz's hipfire accuracy is terrible at first, but can be mastered with the right amount of time and patience. Blitz's pistol, the P12, can do a great amount of damage and has great accuracy when aimed to get a headshot. The only thing I would say letting it down is the ammo capacity. IQ might be just one of, if not the greatest enemy of the defending team's abilities. She has the power to detect any electronics in her range. These include nitro cells, Catkin traps, and Pulse's cardiac sensor, just to name a few. She's a 1 armor, 3 speed operator, so my advice would be to run, but hide. Now I know that doesn't make sense. What I mean by that is to get in the building as fast as you can, but as soon as you're in there, wait for backup. You'll be able to detect electronics and set the pathway, allowing your team to enter unharmed. Her best weapon in my opinion is her AUG A2, having both a magazine size of 31 bullets, plus the rate of fire of 720 rounds per minute. It is by far one of the deadliest guns in the game, and great for firing at an angle. Jaeger is one of the most picked operators on the defender's side of all time. I see it all the time in casual, where the enemy Jaeger runs out and starts shooting the enemy team spawn up, which is fine and everything, but in my opinion takes away the main aspect of the game, to complete a siege. Jaeger is a 1 armor 3 speed operator, making him the world renowned roamer he is today. This doesn't mean he can't protect the objective however. Jaeger can use his active defense systems, blocking the enemy from throwing grenades or flashbangs into the objective, including Thatcher's EMPs and Fuse's cluster charges. Any of Jaeger's weapons are amazing for doing a good job, but my preference is the M870 shotgun. It has one of the most significant damages of any shotgun in the game and takes maybe 1 or 2 shots to kill an enemy. If there could be a second Jaeger in the game, Bandit would be it. Like Jaeger, Bandit has 3 speed and 1 armor attributes, allowing him to roam and peek as much as he likes. Bandit is an operator with access to one of the most useful abilities in the game. Bandit has 4 shock wires which can either be put on a reinforced wall or ceiling, making the enemy unable to use charges and thermites to get in. I wouldn't use all of them at once however, as there could be a Twitch or Thatcher and you may need to put more down. Unlike Jaeger however, I would definitely not use the shotgun and stick to safety with the MP7. With a fire rate of 900 rounds per minute, Bandit is definitely going to be a safe bet when getting into a gunfight. Twitch's drone is her most valuable asset. The game allows you to use the drone both before and during the game. This can give you the upper hand to the opposition if you know camera locations. You can take out cameras, enemy traps, so it reduces the workload your teammates will have to deal with. You can also damage enemy players, and if you're lucky enough, both injure and kill them. Although, this would mean the enemy would have to be extremely bad at aiming, seeing as the Twitch drone can easily be shot once and destroyed. Twitch being fast allows her to catch up if the time is running out, and all she has been doing is using her drone. This is my strategy I tend to use, by the way. Definitely opt for the 417 marksman rifle with low recoil and high fire rate. This bad girl is ready to lock and load. If you're going to opt for a shield operator, this is the king of kings. Montagne is perhaps the most armoured attacked operator in the game for both you and your team. His shield allows you to cover your front whole body, meaning you can breach in and keep your teammates from being shot at. I would suggest choosing the right pistol before going in, and I would say that would be the Magnum. If you can get it right, you can easily get a headshot with that weapon. The hip fire isn't too bad, but you must make sure your aim is accurate. Montagne's shield when lowering makes a loud sound, which could let the enemy get the upper hand and shoot first, so crouch as soon as you can. Dr. Doc is one of the lesser picked characters in the game, but I can't really see why that is myself. He is extremely useful, allowing himself and others to be healed. He can also revive himself if injured, and fire his hypodermic needle shots at his teammates to revive them. The problem is getting the right accuracy and angle, as you don't want to miss a shot, seeing as you only have 3 from start to finish. Doc has a large arsenal at his disposal. He has 2 submachine guns and a shotgun. All of them are good, it really just depends on your playstyle and if you like being at range or close up. I would also run a deployable shield to make it harder for your opponents to hit you. Dropping a supply full of armor plates can be considered helpful, allowing your teammates to gain extra armor and reduce damage from the opposition. Rook, being a free armor one movement operator like Doc, means he's going to be very slow. This can be both bad and good. It is good because he doesn't have the freedom of movement like other operators, and is usually found in the objective. However, it is good because it means he has the ability to stand his ground without having to worry about damage as much. I personally don't use Rook that much, it's when I have to, I will. When I do use him, however, I use his shotgun. He's slow, however his weapons make up for that. Glaz is a master when it comes to one-shot, one-kills. He is definitely one of the more stealthy, long-range type of operators who you don't want to get into the objective immediately with. Glaz is a god when it comes to the play map, there's no doubt about it. Using his thermal scope and being the only sniper operator in the game currently, Glaz can shoot through the windows and take out enemies quickly and quietly, especially how I like to run his weapon with a silencer attachment. Glaz does become vulnerable, however, as if he shoots a hole in either a window or barricade, this will allow the enemies to shoot back at him through those holes if he misses them. Hostage killer, I mean Fuse, is definitely a fun one to use when it comes to killing your opponents. Applying a cluster charge grenade to a surface can be fun, especially if you know your enemy are on the other side. The cluster charge can be applied to almost anything, walls, ceilings and barricades, as long as they are not reinforced. As well as this, don't think castle will protect you, Fuse can still put his charge on them. Being a free armor operator with 1 speed does however mean he is extremely slow and thick, meaning you should probably enter the building with others. Getting your team to safety gets you above to the next objective. As long as it isn't hostage, as we all know what would happen, you are safe. Fuse is also one of the few operators who can use a riot shield, which can come in handy if you get stuck in the middle of a situation you can't handle. Catkin is the fending operator, most well known for his traps. He is also my main operator. Catkin traps can be deployed on doors and windows, so if an enemy were to walk through them, they're going to get a surprise. It used to be that one Catkin was rarely used, with his traps killing the enemies immediately, and him having 1 speed and 3 armor. However, in this season's mid-reinforcements, Catkin was buffed, giving him 2 speed and 2 armor, and instead of having 3 traps, 5 traps. Kaboom! If I was to play as him, seeing as he is my character of choice, I'd be staying in the objective or close by. Often Catkin is seen to be the last operator standing, so he's the last line of defense for your team. There isn't much I can say about the Lord. He is what he is. He has a mounted LMG turret, loaded and ready, deployable so that when the enemies come he can rotate 180 degrees and protect the objective. You rarely see his deployable turret being deployed out of the objective room. This is because if you're in the objective, you know where the enemy would come from. However, outside of it, there are multiple possibilities where you could be in for a shock. I highly recommend the suppressed shotgun, so that if the turret doesn't work, you have something to protect you at close range, especially if you run out of ammo. One of the most, if not the most popular operator in the game, Ashe is fast, powerful, and really fun to use. Every game you enter, you are guaranteed for Ashe to make an appearance at least once, purely because how easy to use she is. She does lack a hitbox sometimes, which is obviously a positive for the player using her, but not so great for the enemy team. Her ability allows her to fire a breaching round into a non-reinforced wall, ceiling, or barricade. There is a positive to her rounds. It allows her to fire them all the time, so no jammers are going to stop this girl from getting what she wants. Being free speed means if you prefer the playstyle of rushing, then you can rush. I wouldn't use her if your playstyle is slow, as that's not what Ashe is typically used for. So, we have finally got to the Big Daddy himself. Thermite is a godsend, he truly is. This operator is so useful, I can't stress that enough. If you didn't already know, he has the ability to blow up reinforced walls. This operator makes defending operators quake in their boots. One hole is all it takes for things to go down the drain for the enemies. There's one issue though. You'll have to stay vigilant. If you die, your teammates will almost likely have to work extremely hard to recover, seeing as thermite is an easier way into most buildings. I use his silenced assault rifle, and even though it does kick a bit, with an ACOG it gets the job done. Castle is an operator that really only slows down the enemies. Castle's barricades are strong, but it is extremely likely the enemy team will have countermeasures, such as glass or sledge, to break down the barricades. Even though this is the case, Castle has 3, so that will cover a lot of ground around the objective. If left to the last minute, it will be difficult for the attackers to pull it off, so Castle I wouldn't say is a must-have, but he isn't a must-not-have. I would use his shotgun only because his other guns are not quite as effective, and Castle is quite bulky, so he's better off sticking to inside the objective for sure. Now we come to the last operator on this list. Pulse. We all know him as the cardiac guy. Out of the 2, Pulse is definitely the best FBI defender. His ability pretty much gives him X-ray vision, allowing him to see 10 meters or so in front of him. The only thing that is going to stop him would definitely be IQ, seeing as she could easily detect Pulse when he is using his device. Apart from that, he is definitely a solid choice. I roam with Pulse simply because he's fast, and it's not exactly like the whole enemy team is going to come from one area, so it's best to stay on your feet. Definitely equip his shotty, because if you detect someone through a ceiling underneath you, or a wall, a shotgun will not only have a good chance of damaging them through the wall, but will open up a hole for you to fire through if not seen by the enemy. Well, that means if you've got here, that you've watched the rest of the video. Thank you very much guys and girls for watching, it is much appreciated. Please like, comment and subscribe, it really does support me and helps me to motivate making content. I try to give as much detail as possible and as quickly as possible in the video for every operator, but for now that's it guys. Thank you and peace.